Astrid.
Hey.
You are lying horizontally on your bunk, staring at the roof of your room. The one with your name scribbled on the front. You've been not much of a presence on the ship for a while. You've been there, you've been working, but it was a bit rough. The station. So you've just been doing your job and kind of keeping to yourself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when we isolate ourselves and try to work through our problems without addressing them or thinking on them, sometimes we can't sleep. Currently, the ship is very, very quiet because everyone else is asleep. And you are not. You are in full engineer gear, lying on your bunk, staring at the ceiling.
Yeah.
So, I think the first question is, what precisely is stuck in Astrid's brain?
I guess I just keep seeing that worker and how he was so almost like zombified into the nature of being a worker. So that's all he was. As if the job was so ingrained to him that that's all he was. He wasn't a person anymore. You could literally just, a drone. You could just literally go and stick a barcode on his forehead. And that's all he would have been. Because there was nothing left.
I imagine Astrid was as worried as everyone else that there was some kind of bizarre phenomenon happening on the station as things unfolded. And obviously the appearance of the work was quite frightening and surprising.
Yeah.
Additionally, the news that everyone else on the station has just died of no reason or cause or anything like that. Probably, well, it's strange to say the least. It's not really something that Astrid can, I would imagine, that Astrid can work through herself. But I don't think, from what she's seen and from conversations, I don't think anyone on the ship can really work through it or figure it out, so...
No, but... feels like Fulton, Naomi, even Kareen, even though she's a bit reserved in some ways, is like... they've all seen things, probably a lot more things than I have. They've learned to deal with how brutish and rash is to be alive. And sure, I've done some things, but I don't know how much I've really lived outside my bubble.
Yeah. I think one thing especially that stood out to Astrid would be the fact that they all accepted it in a strange way, which Astrid didn't. It, from what happened after the captain came in, it was very clear that Astrid rejected, like almost physically rejected the situation comparative to the others.
It was just like it happened, and okay, it happened.
Yeah.
Like they didn't want to find a reason or find help. It just happened because it happened, and that's just how things go.
Yeah.
And that just doesn't feel right to me. Oh.
All of this is swirling in your head as you're lying in your bunk, staring at the ceiling.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it's very apparent you're not sleeping quite yet.
No. I think I wanna. Oh, I mean, if I'm not sleeping, I'm probably gonna go down to the engine room for a bit.
Yep.
May as well do something.
You sigh. Kick your feet off the edge of the bunk. Pick yourself up. And I would imagine quietly, so as not to wake anyone else up, head down the corridor on the top floor, down the stairs, out into the hangar, or the cargo room, through the power room. Luckily, well, obviously and luckily, Colton's not there. He might have insisted on taking you through gun drills again.
I honestly couldn't care less.
Yeah. As a sidebar, you probably would have heard at the very least that Colton has been taking Nomi through gun drills, and she's been a slightly more willing student. Not more apt, but more willing.
Oh, good. Maybe he'll leave me alone.
One can only hope. You go through the door into the engine room, and the engines are banked down for the moment as you are in orbit waiting for clearance to dock at the station. In the engine room, things are looking mostly good. There is that leak on one of the coolant hoses that you still haven't fixed. You have put a bucket under it.
I mean,
which, yeah.
it's not dripping on the floor.
There's a small crate of used iridium rods. They've lost their glow, they've lost their kind of vibrance to them. Essentially, the refined power in them has been drained as you've gone through them. It would be 6.5 of them because of that initial half that you had.
Yeah.
The trip's gone pretty well. Nothing wrong with the engine room. The engines performed essentially at peak performance as well as could be expected. Maybe even a little bit quicker. Of course, there were a few issues with power, but that's not your department, so...
Oh, no, at all. I mean, I can do my job well enough.
Yeah.
Not my fault if other people can't keep up.
As you think that, there is more dripping from the corner of the room where the leak is, but...
Hey, listen.
One job at a time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go through checking the levels, the reserves. You have enough for another journey back to Talend and back here, but not that you're going to or that you'd want to. So it's possible while you're stationed here, depending on the funds that the ship has left after fixes and that type of thing. You might want to buy some more fuel. The kick fuel's fine. You've got enough of that. There are a few improvements you could make to the engine. The main engine, not the thrusters, as you're looking over it. There's the cooling, which is, it's fine, but it's essentially like a very basic cooling system. Could be upgraded if the captain's interested in making the ship better, but
I don't think that's his top priority.
well, now that you've earned some money, it might be a possibility.
I mean, it's coming out of his or the ship's fund. I'm not saying.
Oh yeah, you don't get paid enough to pay for that type of stuff yourself. That would be much more than the earnings from this trip. Although you have heard that on top of getting paid for the job, there is the hopes that the finder's fee for the salvage or the derelict ship might be an additional bonus that you will be getting. So
I still think we should have just nicked the sensors and kicked it off.
yeah.
Oh.
But then, Astrid would think that.
It just feels like we've just taken the longer way around. Because, I mean, yeah, sure, find us fee, go buy the parts, install the parts. We could have had these parts weeks ago if we wanted them.
Yeah.
Find us keepers.
There would be the problem of the parts being essentially coded to the ship you took them from. Not necessarily a problem if you get rid of the codes and the registration, but anyone searching, well, the problems there would be you'd need like fake codes, and they'd need to stand up, and things are reasonably regulated. The thing is like, it's only a problem if anyone checks, and what's the likelihood of someone checking?
Exactly.
But then again, it's never a problem until someone checks. So if someone does, could be an issue.
I mean, then they're the problem.
Yes. Then you could just swear blind that you knew nothing about it. You're just a regular crewmate, and it's all the captain's fault.
I'm just an innocent engineer. I had no part in this.
However, I'd say you managed to maybe an hour, kill an hour, kill 2 hours. Just checking over, double checking things, making sure everything's up to par. And honestly, considering the state when you got on here, you pretty much keep everything in pristine shape in the engine room.
Yeah.
I say pretty much, because there's still that drip.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and fix that. I mean, I've been putting it off just because.
I mean, it's late. You got nothing to do. You have the time, so.
Yeah, I haven't been asked recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go and let's sort it out.
You go and take a proper look at it. You gave it a once over. Essentially, it's the connection at the pump is loose.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
There's a possibility that there's a small micro tear in the actual hose. You can't tell for sure until you manage to like get that tightened up and made sure.
Yeah.
Give it a bit of a grab a wrench, give it a bit of a twist. It slows down. It doesn't completely finish, which as you get it as tight as possible, it implies that there is a small tear or something. A new hose. The other thing you could do, just thinking off the top of your head, is essentially maybe you could slice the hose like a little bit, hopefully get that tear out, and then reattach it. It would mean it would be a bit more taut, leading to the engine. The other possibility is just grabbing a new hose, or the thing that
Tape
fixes
it.
everything, tape.
I mean, Colton's pretty much just been taping shit up and just be like, oh yeah, it's fine. So, like,
Is that Astrid's Colton impression in her head? Does she say that out loud in the engine room, like doing a Colton impression? It's fine. I'll just tape it.
I'm Colin. I will deep voice and gruff, and I'll tape the wires up for Naomi. She's the only one who speaks to me.
yeah.
Yeah. So you almost got there.
Oh god, why am I doing this to myself? It's fucking middle of the night. I'm pretending to be Colton in the engine room.
Yeah. Would you like to go and grab some tape?
Yeah.
Most likely there'll be some in the locker rooms.
Yeah.
Okay. You go out. You head through the generator room. In actual fact, as you go through the generator room, there's a little toolbox. If you want, it's Colton's, but if you want, he probably has tape in there. If you don't want to go all the way to the, you take a look. Yeah, there's some tape in there.
What else is in there?
There's a whole load of screwdrivers and like quite a lot of clippers and strippers and wrenches and all that type of thing. Essentially, it's like a Swiss Army knife, but for, separate tools.
How do I find them laid out? Are they all like really neat?
They're pretty damn. They're all kind of like, they're in like a little toolbox type thing, but they're all laid together. They seem to be laid in like one on top of the other in size. Like the clippers all are on top of each other, and they go smaller and smaller as they stack. And same with like the wrenches and stuff.
Alright, I'm gonna take them out. I'm just gonna start playing Jenga with them and put like one type of clippers on top of the screwdriver on top of the strippers, so they're all just meshed up. And then I'm gonna close the box.
Close the box while taping the tape.
I'm gonna tape the top of the box closed with his clippers inside the box.
Okay.
He has to like peel it off. I mean, I'll teach him for trying to show me how to use a fucking gun.
Right. You know how to use a gun.
Yeah.
Didn't have the safety on, but you know how to use a gun. So, you head back to the engine room and tape up the offending hose. And
Yeah.
it's done. You can probably get rid of that bucket, but knowing bodge jobs, you may want to keep the bucket there just in case.
Yeah, I'll leave it there for now.
So,
I'm still not tired.
still not tired.
Hmm.
Well, there's been a few things you've been putting off, a few things you just haven't done. Depends whether Astrid particularly wants to do them more, is going to consign herself to back to the bar. I mean, she could actually just lie down here and stare at the ceiling here just as easily, but
Wow, another uniquely rusted ceiling for me to look at. Guess I should probably let people know where I am.
at least vaguely.
Yeah.
Okay. You leave the engine room and head over towards the bridge.
I'm gonna start up the console.
It essentially is just in what would be sleep mode. If you want to compose and send a message out, the best place to do it is actually in the console room, which is, apologies, this is me being wrong, which is attached to the common room. So.
Yeah, I'll go into the console room then.
Yes. As you walk in, the AI fires up to life.
Greetings, engineer. Do you require assistance?
Yeah, I'd like to compose new message, please.
Confirmed. Opening message system now. Will there be anything else, engineer?
No thanks. I'm right.
Very well.
The console flares up, and essentially you see yourself. You can turn off the video if you don't want to send video. It will record audio as and when you like, and essentially compile it and fling it off into space in the direction of your choosing to the recipient of your choosing.
Yeah, I leave the video on.
Yeah.
That's that, I guess I'll set it up to start recording.
Okay. Link.
Hiya. Not dead. Shit. Guess you weren't really expecting to hear from me. Been a while. Well, I'm back out now and got a job. Oh, I know you'd be pleased to hear that. I make alright wage. I'm doing engineering on a charter ship, and yeah, a lot better than where I was before, I'll be honest. There's so much I want to tell you about what happened and how I ended up where I did, and I just know you're really, really disappointed in me. I hope you're okay. I hope Dad's okay. And everyone else. I hope the young ones haven't forgotten me. Not too much. If you get this, let's be back, please. I'd really like to come home soon, but I'll come back when I think it's okay to. And I don't feel like I'll bring a whole load of shit back with me. I love you.
And end the message.
End the record.
Well, the console itself packages it up once you hit the OK button.
I'm gonna set the message destination. Terra firma station.
Doesn't register, but you have the needed, not coordinates, but essentially code to send it off that way.
Yeah.
An additional thing you can and probably would do is essentially scrub the code out of the ship's logs.
Yeah.
You can do that by getting the AI to do it, but then the AI has a recording of that. It's a lot easier just to jump into the system and dig it out yourself.
Yeah. I'll do that myself. Saves a lot of hassle. The last thing I need is other people knowing where terra firma is.
Yeah.
Or was.
So. Yeah. It's been sent. It's been done. It's always one of those things that you always mean to do. Send a message back and it's just like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to imagine that Astrid wouldn't particularly want to hang around in the console room for no reason. So, there's the bunk, there's just kind of vegging on the couch for a little bit in the break room lounge area.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the lounge. I'm half tempted to have some of Corinne's stupid coffee.
Yeah.
Like, stupidly strong coffee.
It's,
That made me bounce off the walls last time, like, even more than I like usual. So
oh
I was
yeah,
like,
it did. And you're already having problems sleeping, so...
I mean, maybe we reach, like, such a pinnacle point of, like, awakeness. They would, like, revert back down and actually, like, maybe go to sleep.
Yeah, maybe. So, while you're sitting there, kind of percolating over the thought of getting coffee, the door slides open, and the captain kind of starts sneaking in, creeping in, quietly coming in the room.
Does he see me?
No.
Greetings, Captain. This is the AI speaking.
He kind of like pauses for a sec and like looks up and then looks around and like for a second his eyes like move over you and then they snap back and you could just see you there kind of like, yeah. Astrid, hello. You're up and wow. Sorry, I didn't think anyone else was awake. I was trying to be quiet. How were you up?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was legal to be up at this time of night.
It's fine.
I'll tell Colton next time that he's curfewed.
No, it's okay. I just I couldn't sleep. I came down to check some messages. What are you doing up?
Can't sleep, came down to send some messages.
Oh, okay. Actually, and he kind of goes and sits down on a chair, kind of opposite the table from you, and he says, "I've been meaning to ask. Is everything okay? I know you wanted some time alone."
Yeah.
I just I've spoken with everyone else. We had a meal and talked about what happened on the station, but it seemed to kind of affect you a lot more.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if you're okay.
Wasn't well.
No.
He was a shell of a person. He
Yeah.
like something bad happened, and I don't feel like we did enough.
You're not wrong. But the most important thing to me as captain is to keep you all safe and make money. If I can do both, that's a good thing. And that man is an unknown to us. We don't know what's wrong with him, and we don't know what he would do. On a week-long space journey, there's only so much you can keep an eye on someone like that. And we don't have the ability or facilities to keep him restrained and essentially docile. The only thing we could do is to send a message back to Voltorm and let them know about the situation. The problem is that I don't know how much you know about these type of situations and these type of places. The workers, they're people with not much going for them who try and eke out a living as best they can. They're not really cared for, and they're kind of treated as disposable sometimes when they shouldn't be.
So it's fine for that to just happen to them because they're disposable.
No.
Oh, it's fine for it to just leave it and let. He was the last one. Out of how many? How many of them? How many others were probably there and like him until they probably killed over and died? And no one's done anything, and we're probably not gonna do anything because, well, because they don't amount to much.
No. Not because they don't amount to much, but because there's nothing we can do.
I mean, we could tell people and they can look into it and try and figure out what happened so it doesn't happen again. Isn't that like some kind of like moral responsibility that like everyone should have?
Do you remember the first transmission that was sent to Voltorm from that station, requesting supplies and a company transport?
But it never came. I mean, yeah, we bought supplies, but the transport, it never arrived.
That was us. Months late. Not a company transport. That's life for some people, especially working for places like Voltorm. It's profits, bottom line, how much can be shaved. So they hired us, paid us decently, but it was late and it was not as much as was requested, because these places make decent money, but if they can get away with it, they'll spend as little as possible for as much output as possible. And the people working there earn money when otherwise they wouldn't be able to. So
So we're just another cog in a really shitty broking machine.
maybe. So, when I was a kid, I lived somewhere not very nice. Not really like the station in any way, aside from the fact that people were poor, did the best they could to get work. I may or may not have fallen in with a reasonably bad crowd. Have you ever been to Somalis? People talk about it because it's the origin of where we all come from. You know, it's the home planet, it's the capital, it's the origin of life for us. It's where all of our ancestors are from. It's also a shithole. Big, vast, sweeping urban areas of nothing but slums and factories and whatever job you can manage to scrounge up. Usually not even that. And I started life stealing. Knock a door down, get in a window, take something from someone else so you can give something back to your family. Food, maybe some clothes. Until my brother had a kid. And I decided that I needed to help my family. None of them had any work. And I was given, well, I had an opportunity if I went into the army, into the Marines. So, I did. And I was essentially a cog in the machine, earning money, sending it back, and almost dying repeatedly. Because it was the best way to earn, to survive. Unfortunately, it meant that I was serving the people who put us in that situation. So, it's not great. And I do know how it feels. But very, very often, you're going to be presented with situations which are just terrible. And you'll look at them and you'll wish you can do something about them. And you'll realize that you can't. And even if you do, nothing will be done about it. If we had sent a message back asking for help for this man or for the station, nothing would be done for months, and all they would actually do is send a replacement team of the same people out there to replace the ones who had died. And they would go through the same treatment and the same exact problems. And we would not get paid because there was no one to deliver supplies to. It's not a perfect solution, and I can promise you that it is not selfless. It is very selfish indeed, but I didn't see any other options. When we make 6-week travel, 2-month travels for a promise of a payday, we have to deliver through. If we don't get paid, it's just a waste and we won't be able to keep operating. It's important to me to keep the ship running. And slowly, it's becoming important to me to keep you all happy and paid and running too.
When I was younger, my dad, he always used to tell me, he was like, you can do anything. You can be anyone. As long as you want it bad enough. And I thought, for the longest time, that was so true. I thought that I could make it off the station and, maybe make something of myself. And then I started seeing how unfair the world was. And I wanted to fight it. And I wanted to bite back at the hand that fed me. Or fed everyone. But it's the same hand which also withholds meals and makes you hungry. So I thought, I'm gonna make it my own way. And then it didn't work out. And that's how I ended up in fucking prison. As young as I did. And part of me still wants to be that hopeful, wishful-eyed kid who believes that, people like us can ever have a chance of making it in the world. As something more than just a tradership. That we can have impact. And that we're not just bottom barrel.
Well, for the record, Romy never told me where he met you. So, he kept that secret. And that's fine by me. What you did in your past is not particularly important to me. However, I understand that you want to go out and, smash everything down or change it and make things better for everyone. But you're very important here. As you may have seen, I don't know how to run the ship by myself. And we all need you to keep the engines running, to keep us running, and to keep us all up in the air. So, I can't offer you a huge upheaval or change or anything like that, but we would love to keep you on the ship, and maybe even as time goes on, you could own part of it with us. It may be a crappy small trader ship, but then it would become a lot more home.
I'll think about it, but for now, maybe I should just try and stick to running the engines as opposed to starting a rebellion.
If you want to start a rebellion, you'll have to do it in your time off. And preferably not on my ship. Technically speaking, I'm the leader here.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna try and go sleep. And as your captain, I hope that you do the same. Salute's not necessary.
But it's fun.
If I can help, do come to me. I'm not always the best captain, but I'll always want to help. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
And he stands up, completely ignoring the fact that he came down here for messages and things like that, and starts heading back up towards his bunk. Pauses at the door. Says, "Good night, Astrid."
Night, Captain.
And he walks out.
Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? It's a big, big world out there. Plenty possibilities. All of them is killing me soft. I want the real me figured out right here, right now. Is this lifestyle the right style for me? Only with time will I see. But by then it'll be too late. Looking in the mirror at a stranger's face. If I wasn't right, would you tell me straight? Or would you let me? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid. Would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? I want something great instead of all dismay, but I can't find my way. I fall on my face, I flatline my faith. I want all escape, let's throw it all away. Just like the thoughts I trade for a couple of bucks in this big bucket of love. I'm steady throwing my up, hoping for that 1 in 100. But fuck stressing the numbers. Pop this deck in your summer and see the inner of my head declog like a plunge. Y'all be akin to my feces. Your best bet be the Bee Gees. The way you think living's staying alive. I got my head in my smile, but don't know where I'll fly. I'm just spreading my wings. I'm fine with taking my time. time. I used to rush it all out. I'm trying to slow it all down. Take my feet and lose ground. Give them somewhere to hang. I always want it right now. Trying to slow it all down. Take my mind and lose ground. Watch it floating away. Yeah. Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream? Where do I move in this world? Could you please tell me what the hell I'm doing for it? Bring me to my knees. I'm so stupid, would you tell me honestly if I wasn't meant to be what I see when I dream?